so glad to have you here. In this video, I will give you a few life lessons from the movie Mea Culpa. For those who've forgotten or just didn't see it, here's a quick synopsis. In Mea Culpa, Kelly Rowland plays Mia Harper, a defense attorney who takes on the case of Zaire Malloy, played by Trevante Rhodes, despite her family's misgivings. As she attempts to clear Zaire's name, things take an interesting turn that might change her life forever. There's a lot to unpack, so let's get into it. Life lesson number 1. Women need respect and devotion too. When the movie begins, Mia and Cal are in therapy discussing the breaking down of their marriage. They are specifically talking about Cal's emotional affair with a friend by the name of Jenna. He doesn't stay for the whole hour. He leaves before the discussion is over because he will otherwise be late for his mother's birthday party. Mia refuses to go with him. Instead, she stays and completes the hour of therapy and discuss the role Cal's mother plays in their marriage. During the party, Cal's mother makes sure everyone knows Mia's late by saying, "Don't worry, your next wife will be on time." She says it laughingly as if it's a joke, but it's not. This woman is so disrespectful that she would have both of her daughter-in-laws sit at the end of the table, just to have one son sit by a random guy, and to have the other one sit by a friend that he's having an emotional affair with. She even tells Jenna that she wishes Cal had married her instead, and encourages Jenna to hug Cal at the end of the night. All of this blatant disrespect happens right in Cal's presence, just to hurt Mia, and Cal never says a word. Not only does he never correct his mother, he goes along with her nonsense, allowing himself to be used to hurt Mia. To add insult to injury, he sells Mia's piano to buy a watch for his mother that he knew Mia would never agree to purchase. He doesn't respect Mia, and he is not devoted to her. Otherwise, he would not put his mother's desires and whims over Mia's needs. For him to say it was his piano first does not help, because it's still a gift he gave to Mia, took back, and sold for his mother's benefit. Cal is more devoted to his mother than his wife. It's so easy to watch these things and say, I don't know now one woman who would put up with this, especially not a black woman. But we all have been or know someone who has been committed to someone who was disrespectful and disloyal. Most likely, their expressions of disloyalty and disrespect started out small and arguably insignificant. If the incidents went unaddressed, they slowly grew into much larger events until you woke up one day asking, how did things get so bad? We are used to hearing about how men need respect and devotion, as if women aren't human beings who need the same things. If your partner allows the people around them to disrespect you and treat you like an enemy, that's a problem. Because people don't tend to let folk disrespect people that they hold a high regard for. Be careful about trying to build a life with someone who doesn't respect you and is not devoted to you, because they will betray you every time. Don't count on them to honor your best interests, because they will consider the desires, whims, and interests of so many other people before they ever consider yours. Life lesson number 2. Family may be a legitimate reason to walk away. Clearly, Cal's mother does not like either of her daughter-in-laws. She goes out of her way to be mean and spiteful to both of them. However, she seems to be more cruel to Mia than Charlize. Throughout the movie, Azalea's greatest objective is to hurt and disrespect Mia. a goal she manages to meet every single time. Ultimately, Cal's family treats Mia like an enemy. The only time they refer to her as family is when they are trying to manipulate her. Keep in mind, his mother has played matchmaker in Mia's face. Yet, when they want to protect the older brother's career, they say dumb stuff like, "We're family," which means we get a say. By the time we make it to the end of the film and all the schemes are revealed, it's not surprising that the murder was fake, Azalea doesn't have cancer, or that it was all set up by Cal's family. After all, they have made it extremely clear that they do not like or respect Mia, and they surely don't consider her family. Neither is it surprising that Cal is in on it, because he has never stood up to his mother or brother on his wife's behalf. Of course, the average person doesn't have in-laws who are plotting against them to this magnitude. But never underestimate the impact your partner's family can have on your relationship. So often, when you meet a partner's family, you are already in love, or at the very least, invested enough to try to make it work. Since your level of investment is high, it's very likely that you will not allow a unpleasant family member or two to cause you to run away. While I'm not suggesting you should feel like family right away, you can't be so eager to get married or move on to whatever the next step of your relationship is that you consider your partner's family a non-factor, especially if they are overly involved, have shown a complete refusal to accept you, or operate under the impression that you somehow aren't good enough for their beloved family member. There should be real boundaries between family business and couple business. But for some families, this is easier said than done. Such families have a hard time accepting that their baby no longer belongs to them solely. And they will resent you for wanting and expecting them to make space for you. Overly involved family members will destroy marriage. Combine that with a palpable hatred for you, and you have to ask, is it worth it? Especially if your partner doesn't or won't stand up for you and or refuse to create and enforce boundaries with their family. Comment below. Would you ever walk away from a potential life partner due to their family? Life lesson number 3. Be careful about calling folks your best friend. Very early in the movie, Mia refers to Charlize as her best friend. However, Charlize proves herself to not be a good friend on several occasions. Here are a few examples. Reason number 1. The mother-in-law was openly disrespectful to Mia on several occasions, and Charlize didn't bother to be upset not one time. A good friend is always willing to be upset on your behalf. I'm not saying that every best friend has to be willing to fight, but they shouldn't be okay with watching someone mistreat or disrespect you. Reason number 2. Charlize had a whole affair on her husband with Zaire, and she didn't say nothing to her best friend. Even when Mia took Zaire on as a client. Instead, she got the family involved, allowed her best friend to be ambushed, and proclaimed it was for the harmony of the family. No, I'm not suggesting that your friends owe you their business, but best friends do tend to share the big stuff, especially secrets this big. Now, I could give her a pass on not sharing her secret because maybe she was too embarrassed or she just didn't trust Mia like that. But there is no reason for a friend to allow another friend to be ambushed. And it does not elude me that she was nowhere to be found during this family dinner that turned out to be an ambush. And reason number 3. When Mea returns from the DR, the family is obviously plotting against her. Yet Charlize doesn't say a thing. Considering all the ways she has put the family's interests above Mea's, it's not surprising when she clearly thinks about stabbing Mea. Now, I'm not sure it's fair to expect someone who won't stand up for themselves to stand up for you. Neither am I suggesting that her inability to do so makes her ineligible for friendship. But before you go calling somebody your best friend, make sure that they are really down for you. So often we equate frequency with the strength of a bond. In other words, we presume the bond to be strong if we spend a lot of time together and like each other. Combine these factors with the tendency to agree with one another or the ability to agree to disagree, and we will swear that's our good friend. But most of us have at least one classmate or co-worker who's good for a good laugh and a shared lunch break. Over time, you may find that y'all agree on most things or can agree to disagree. But this does not mean that you actually have a strong friendship. We have to be more deliberate about our definition and expectation of friendship. It is very important to decide for yourself what good friendship looks like according to you, so that you don't presume a good acquaintance for a good friend. Doing so leads to disappointment and heartbreak. Now, I know someone's watching this wondering, did you like this movie? On a scale of 1 to 5 stars, I would give Mea Culpa 2.5 stars. If you're willing to put on your special Tyler Perry hat, which allows you to follow his logic, this movie makes for a relatively enjoyable ride. Their soundtrack is good. Kelly Rowland looked amazing. And I especially appreciated all the pretty chocolateness on the screen. However, I can't overlook the plot holes, the wonky ending, or the fact that from the moment she returns from the Dominican Republic to the end is a whole different movie. Also, I am annoyed that it is never explained how such elaborate schemes were pulled off. All things considered, it makes for an interesting conversation. Now it's your turn. Don't forget to share, subscribe, hit the bell, and/or tell me your thoughts down in the comments. Did you like the movie? Did you learn anything? Or was it just a good time?